Welcome to the show. I've been very excited to talk to you because your context here is so important. You're a sheriff now. You're a former Border Control agent. We really appreciate your time, sir.
Hey, good morning, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about this Take Our Border Back convoy. What are your views on it?
I think it's a good thing. As I was traveling, I'm actually in Uvalde, Texas today, and I'll be heading down to Eagle Pass later this morning. But I was traveling to San Antonio last night, and as y'all mentioned in your segment before, there was a lot of support out on the highway as they waited for the convoy to make it here. I foresee a bunch of people that want to get out and support our U.S. Border Patrol agents, our state resources that are assisting Border Patrol agents at the border, as well as our local law enforcement. So I foresee it being something good, and again, a lot of support for those that are protecting our borders.
Yeah, to your point, Stephanie said there are 300 cars so far in this convoy. You have said before in other interviews that your area, there's no crime. There's not a crime problem. It's a border security problem. Are you worried about the risk for violence today and moving forward the next few days?
Ma'am, there's always that risk. There really is, but I'll tell you, my 26 years as a Border Patrol agent and 10 years out in Arizona, when Arizona was the epicenter for border security, Nogales, Arizona, Douglas, Arizona. But we've always been that agency in the middle that balances, those vigilante groups that we had in Arizona, and then those faith-based organizations. And most law enforcement's trained for instances like this to be able to get out there and really balance both of those. But as you mentioned, there is that potential.
You have been saying for a while now that you want a reallocation of resources. Do you feel like the Biden administration has done enough to secure the border?
100%. And I always preface it with, I'm not going to pit one administration against the other, because the previous four administrations, going back to President Clinton, to President Bush, to Obama, to President Trump, all four of those administrations progressed border security. This current administration has done absolutely nothing for our border. There's no policies, and all it would take to solve what's going on in Eagle Pass, Arizona, San Ysidro, California, is to simply bring back the migrant protection protocols, and we can get back to having a safer, more secure border. This is what's caused that chaos.
You've also been critical of President Biden not meeting with border sheriffs. Has he met with border sheriffs now, as of yet?
No, ma'am, not that I'm aware of. So I've been a sheriff for about 20 months now. I retired to become sheriff of my hometown where I grew up. And I'm not aware of any meetings prior to that, nor since I've been a sheriff. But to be honest with you, I think he wouldn't listen to us. And more importantly, we've got another 11 months of suffering until we get a new administration in the White House that will be able to solve this almost overnight.
And Sheriff, I don't have to tell you, the border fight between state and local officials continue. Where do you stand when it comes to the razor wire in these areas?
So it serves a purpose. And again, in my career with the Border Patrol, when we first started building fence under President Obama, and let me reiterate that, under those four previous administrations I mentioned, they all contributed to building fence, to include President Obama and at the time Vice President Biden. But what I don't want to see, and what I have seen, is this administration trying to pit the federal authorities, the Border Patrol agents, against the state authorities. I'll tell you, on the ground and where the work is actually done, these agencies work great together. They have to, and we always have. We've always had that partnership, especially here in the state of Texas, between Border Patrol and our Texas Department of Public Safety Highway Patrol troopers.
Sheriff Cleveland, can you tell me about your community? Tell me about the people in these neighborhoods and, of course, this area.
Well, and as you mentioned, Terrell County, we don't have a crime problem. We have a border security problem. But my county is the 10th largest county in the state of Texas, 2,300 square miles. And it's very rural. It's the most remote portion of the entire 2,000-mile border with Mexico. As I mentioned, 2,300 square miles, 54 miles of river with Mexico. We have a lot of landowners, and I'll be the first to tell you, you shouldn't have to live in the United States and have a fear to live on your own property. In my county, as well as down in Kinney County, and I'll see Sheriff Brad Coe, who was also a Border Patrol agent later today, his residents feel the same way.
Sheriff Cleveland, thank you so much for coming on this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you. God bless you.